The crypto market today is dipping as Bitcoin suffers a crash to $65,000 as spot ETF inflows wane.
Literally in the past 24 hours, we've gone from call it $73,000 to $67,000.
Five.
Was that a function of the retail market selling actual Bitcoins, or was that institutions selling ETF?
What's the real reason that the Bitcoin price is dipping?
Spot Bitcoin ETFs. Question came in, hey, we know you're not offering one. Have you changed your mind? What would it take for you to change your mind?
Breaking news in the last 24 hours, the Vanguard CEO reaffirms they will not offer spot Bitcoin ETFs because it does not belong in a long-term portfolio and it's not a store of value.
We don't plan to, and we don't, we're not going to change our minds around this unless the asset class changes.
Yep.
And for perspective, Vanguard has 7.2 trillion assets under management compared to BlackRock's 9.1 trillion and Fidelity's 4.5 trillion. Vanguard's the #2 most powerful.
First of all, we don't believe it belongs. Like a Bitcoin ETF belongs in a long-term portfolio. If someone's saving for their retirement, it's a speculative asset.
That's exactly it.
And the funds that we offer invest in asset classes that actually have underlying cash flow. So something like Bitcoin is just too volatile and it's not a store of value. It hasn't been.
To me, this just illustrates how early we are. This is why there's an opportunity.
This is buying, Bitcoin right here is buying Microsoft in its first 5 or 10 years of existence, right? Yeah. I mean, this is the base layer of the new form of money.
Heavily respected fund manager and economist Lawrence Lepard had a great explanation of this. Hey, he follows me. I'm going to follow him. He puts out great information. But please understand that Vanguard CEO did not cause the dip. Also, spot ETF inflows waning, factually, this is disingenuous. This is not the reason the Bitcoin's dipping. Here's the monthly volume for the 10 BTC ETFs. March is only half over, but has already smashed the numbers from February and January with 65 billion. And these corrections are not new. Like clockwork, this is when the ETFs buy. They've been happening since the approval of the ETF, January 12th. Again, this is when the ETFs buy, and corrections tend to happen when the Bitcoin funding rates get too frothy.
Things are frothy, funding rates are high.
This is a chart from yesterday. Investors were signaling Bitcoin funding rates have been high again. We need the flush out. We need to clear the leverage, and it happened. Plunging crypto prices trigger $800 million in liquidations. That was $300 million worth of BTC-specific liquidations and over $800 million worth of liquidations for crypto. And this is where we stand today. On that leverage wipeout, we got the reset in Bitcoin's funding rates. Annualized basis went from 100% back to 20%. This was healthy. And by the way, this is what Bitcoin dips look like during a bull market.
There are a lot of people who don't understand this asset. They're going to buy it, and it's going to work, and they're going to feel great. And they're going to think, hey, I made 3 or 4 times my money. And they're going to sell it, not realizing that it's going to just keep.
Let's finish this clip and get to recent altcoin news. But it's very possible that the reason that we dipped, or at least the reason that we're not going up so much faster, is because of the poor user experience that comes with the adoption of any new tech. Struggling to manage multiple wallet addresses across multiple blockchains? Let Self simplify things for you. We consolidate all your wallet addresses from various chains into a single user-friendly and unique Web3 identity. Very happy to always be able to share with you the cool things happening in the space. We are partnering up with them today to be able to transact on-chain, but without the stress. So instead of having to send a bunch of random numbers and letters, your public address, with Self Crypto, and by the way, link down below, you can build a unique Web3 identity across multiple chains, remove the complexity of crypto with Self, and let me just share with you how to do this. Register your identity once, use it forever. So first, you're going to choose how you want to register your name, either with Self token or stablecoin. Now choose the name that you want as your Self identity. This will be the name you can just send instead of a complicated wallet address. And register, confirm, Got to pay the gas. And boom, successfully registered. Now we have to set it up. We go up to our profile, click the identity that we now own. And here we are. This is how we'll add all our public wallets into one identity. And this is multi-chain. You can see the ones they offer as of now. So we want this BTC address to be under this identity. Also, let's choose our profile pic. Gotta look good. This is identity. Save changes. Just register it on the blockchain. Boom, metadata updated successfully. And again, this is a way to transact on chain with no stress, consolidate wallet addresses. And by the way, unlike Ethereum name service, ENS, or other such companies, with Self, you do actually own this identity, because with others, you're just renting it, you're paying a subscription fee. This one is just an affordable one-time payment, no costly yearly subscription fees, truly unique usernames, and register your ID once, use it forever. Many people originally called this the PayPal killer, or maybe the PayPal of crypto, because this is something you could feel comfortable having your grandma use. And if you have already registered, feel free to comment down below your username, your new Self identity. And if somebody wants to send you crypto, it's not going to be me, but it'll be easier for somebody to do. And let's continue with altcoin news, but I do just want to highlight they did just recently release the roadmap for the next 1 to 2 years. A lot to look forward to. There's DAO governance with Self NFTs, so decentralization. They're building their own Self wallet, browser and mobile, their own DEX, and then eventually their own blockchain. Right now they're on BSC. Eventually, they will have the first L1 blockchain with username functionality. Link down below, check it out. Always more to get into. And breaking, Nigeria takes a Binance execs hostage in a bid to prop up their unpopular currency.
What you're looking at is these two officials who are being held are essentially functioning as leverage, because Nigeria says that they want information on the top 100 traders in Nigeria using Binance's platform and their full transaction history for the last 6 months. And as you said, neither of these employees has been charged. And interestingly, neither really has any decision-making power. So I will say this, even though it does seem to be that they're targeting Binance here, it's also not a good look for Nigeria. It doesn't really say I'm open for business. And it certainly has a chilling effect in terms of foreign investment.
So the Nigerian people were using too much crypto. So then the Nigerian government decided to take crypto employees hostage and say, tell us who's using your platform.
When the Tinubu regime decided to float the Naira from the US dollar, to float it from the peg, the value of the Naira dropped 29% in just 24 hours, which basically sent their currency into free fall. So what do you do if you're Nigerian? You move your money into any other currency you can that's more stable. So their first stop was to go to the US dollar. But then the regime decided to restrict access to the US dollar, which is what sent Nigerians fleeing to crypto stablecoins.
Luckily, we have DEXs. PancakeSwap announces V4 with custom pools and gas optimization. So PancakeSwap released a new version of its code, which plans to launch on BNB and Ethereum in Q3. And how will this affect you? The new version will allow for custom liquidity pools and flash accounting, intended to lower gas costs for users and prevent impermanent loss for liquidity providers. Also, we have ZKLINK. They have now officially merged, or at least bridged, with Blast, which is an Ethereum L2, and also reached $50 million in TVL in under 24 hours. And as Bitcoin continues to consolidate.
I mean, this thing, unless we're wrong about this being adopted as the base layer of money, and I see no evidence to suggest that's the case, these coins will be, 100,000, then they'll be 400, then they'll be 1 million, then they'll be 4 million, then they'll be 10 million, and the time frame on all of that is probably 20 years, because, Microsoft started in the early 80s, and here we are 40 years later, that it's the multi-billion-dollar company that it is. So this doesn't happen overnight. But the point, as you raise, is you don't want to sell. It's like Manhattan real estate, as he said. You don't want to sell a cornerstone asset that can't be replicated and can't be debased just because you have a profit in it.
Be sure to click subscribe for a daily video keeping you informed about crypto. And like always, see you tomorrow.